Hello guys, I just want you to check out this Baphomet here. Looking at my Wi-Fi, and I noticed that there's a Baphomet. It says right there. I know it's blurry. Anytime I try to uh, zoom in on something with this phone, it starts to blur out. Because they hate being exposed, but you could kind of see it right there where it says Baphomet. But this is my Wi-Fi and on my phone, and it says Baphomet, Baphomet, Baphomet. And if you guys don't know what the Baphomet is, I implore you to look it up. It is part of the satanic occult. It's a hideous looking goat with human arms and a female breast and a male's bottom, and it has a goat head. If you ever heard anyone being referred to as the goat, it's not a good thing. It's actually referring to this Baphomet, which is supposed to represent, it's an idol, a statue that's supposed to represent the satanic world. And it was, I think, maybe 2 years ago, they were trying to go through government to try to have a statue placed out in front of a church, I think it is, in Oklahoma. And they were also trying to get one in a couple other places. They were trying to, it was a bunch of Satanists out trying to suggest that they deserve rights as well. They deserve the right to openly worship Satan. So if you didn't know about that, you can look into that as well. It's a real delight. But I just wanted to come on tonight and record that, because whoever this is, this person that has the Baphomet as their Wi-Fi name, they've been kind of stalking me for quite some time. I've been in this area, in this city where I've been for the last 6 months, and it follows me in this area. Every time I'm in this area, and I'm in a hotel right now, and every single time I've stayed here, this Baphomet individual is in this area. When I first got here, I was staying in my car in this area, and I was experiencing the same thing. I noticed the Baphomet was there. Now, it's not everywhere I go. It's usually when I'm on this side of town, and I'm gonna stay, like, find a place to sleep or find a place to try to sleep. I notice that it pops up then. But if you guys are not familiar with the Baphomet being associated with Freemasonry, the Illuminati, all of these satanic, secret, esoteric occults, you really need to kind of get into gathering an understanding of who these people are and what they represent. And if you're still under the impression that this is a carnal thing, that you're being stalked by people, it's just really imperative that you realize that you're not. These people that are stalking you and following you, these so-called perps, these people are witches. They're demon possessed, if not entirely a demon. This is a spiritual attack. This is a spiritual war, and I'm sure you probably heard that. And some of you may not understand what that means, but it means exactly what you could fantasize it to mean. It means that you are being attacked by the spirit worlds, things of the spirit world. supernatural beings, demons. You're encountering witches and warlocks who are trying to put spells and use black magic on you. I mean, it's real. And the only reason why we're not feeling it to its full effect is because the Most High is more powerful, and you're supposed to be serving a purpose. And that's not exactly what this whole thing is meant for. But I'll let you all figure that out. But it is a very serious phenomenon, and these people are very serious about what they do and what they believe. And I know me personally, I'm not in fear of it because I know that I've been exposed to it for the last 13 years that I've been going through this attack. And I know the Most High has me covered. And although I've had to suffer through some things that did harm me and that have harmed me and that have hurt me physically, emotionally, and mentally, ultimately, with the amount of wickedness and hate that these people have for you, the goal for them would be for you to be dead. So, with that being said, all praises to the Most High. I remember, speaking of the Freemasons, I remember last summer, I was working at a travel agency, and it was about 15 to 20 people in this training class. And if you've been persecuted for as long as I have, your instincts are very high, and you just intuitively pick up on people's spirit. And most of that class were Freemasons, witches, and they were demonically possessed, and they were there to monitor me. And I was able to pick up on that just through their behavior throughout the class. They were always watching. I was always on the stage. They were always watching to see what I was going to do. And when there was time for us to go to break, most of them would just hang back and try to see, what am I going to do? Am I going to go to break so that they can follow me out, follow me to my car, follow me on my lunch break, wherever I was going to go, just things like that. And so it got to the point where I would just kind of hang back just to pinpoint who was in that class for me and who was there for the training. And it had to have been, it was astounding for me, because I've never been in an enclosed environment where I was able to truly say, these people are specifically here for me, like that. And like I said, it was about 15 to 20 people in the training class, and I would say about 16 to 17 of those people were there specifically for me. And I had about a handful that was always just kind of, if I wouldn't get up and leave, they would literally come back and sit down and hang out with me. Not talk to me, but just, hang out while I'm there. And if I got up and left, they would get up and leave. It was the craziest thing ever. And so one day there was this couple in the class, an older couple, and, the same routine. It's time for lunch, and everyone gets up and leaves and goes out. And they're looking back at me and noticing that I'm not up from my chair. So they're like, "Are you coming?" And I said, "No." And so they're, oh, we were just trying to check and see if you were going to go to lunch. And I was like, well, I didn't realize it was a group thing. But, you guys can go ahead. Thanks for, thinking of me, but I'll be okay. So they just turned right back around and sat back down with me in the class. And so after about 15 minutes or so of just sitting there silent, I guess trying to wait me out, the husband gets up and he leaves. And the wife comes over to me and she's, sparking up conversation because she's like, hey, we're gonna take advantage of this time that we have together. So I'm just kind of like, okay. So she's talking to me, and I don't remember what we were talking about, but I noticed because I was still sitting down and she was kind of hovering toward me, and I noticed her necklace, and I knew that it was an occult necklace. And so I asked her about it, and she was like, yeah, this is a necklace that I wear for protection because my family is Freemasons. They're Freemasons. And she paused and she gave me this look like, do you know what they are? And I could tell she had some sort of a spirit in her because of the way she was talking to me and the way she was acting. And I just said, no, I'm fully aware of what the Freemasons are. She said, well, yeah, my great-grandfather is Albert Pike. Now, if you all don't know who Albert Pike is, look him up. Albert Pike. He is a well-known Freemason, well-known Satanist. If you're in the company of Satanists and you speak his name, they will know exactly who you're talking about. And she goes into explaining, who they were and how they were a part of the Scottish Rite, and they were Shriners, and she tried to escape because they were wicked people, they're evil. And she went into just basically regurgitating everything that I already knew about the Freemasons, but she was trying to disassociate herself from it. But I could just tell that she was not, just because, one, the resume is already out there. I pretty much already know who you are. So, and that was just, the class. My manager, who was a black woman, who dressed like a man, like bow ties, dress shirt, button-ups. And she was a Freemason. And they actually had a society there, a group of managers who were Freemasons. And they had advertised themselves on the web through our email. And I was just blown away because I was just, surrounded by Freemasons. And this is the first time that I had been around actual people that I knew was participating in that occult. And needless to say, I wasn't there very long. She hated me, and I didn't even know this woman. And she ultimately, cooked up some weird, bizarre reason to let me go after the classes were done. But which I was completely okay with, because I'm just like, this, I do not belong here in this environment at all. But it's just a testament to, how saturated we are as people who are not a part of the occult with demonic activity and the supernatural, from this kingdom of darkness. So, if you're still struggling with whether or not this is carnal, meaning you're dealing with people, you're dealing with, actual people that have decided they don't like you or whatever, please snap out of it, because you are dealing with Satan's kingdom. We are in Satan's kingdom. From the logos, from the shoes we wear, from the clothes we wear, from the food we eat. It is like Daniel when he was in the kingdom, and now he asked if he could, skip and bypass eating the food because of what it represented. We are in the kingdom of darkness, guys, and it's deep. So you should always be praying over your food, and if you eat out, you should always be praying over your food because you don't know who's handling it. Most of these people are witches, they're warlocks, and make no mistake, they know who you are. If you belong to God, they know who you are because they can see in the spirit. You may not, but they're seeing in the spirit because they are operating with the spirit in them. So they know who you are when you go into these restaurants. And if they're handling your food, trust me, they are doing things to it. And even when you're eating in, these grocery stores, when you're going in and purchasing your food, you have to pray over your food. You have to pray over everything that you come into contact with because the origin is unknown to you. And so I know it's a very stressful thing to have to do, but believe me, it's stressful, but it's helpful. So I just wanted to get on here and talk about, because I was just turning on my Wi-Fi, getting on the phone, and I seen once again the Baphomet. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to document this. And I'm going to put it out there for those, my fellow brothers and sisters who are suffering through the attacks and the targeting and the monitoring. And just giving you a warning that it's Freemasons, the occult, the Illuminati. It's all Satan the devil. If you're an avid Bible reader, and you are familiar with the false gods of the Bible, Baal, Moloch, those are all false gods. But we know as servants and followers of the Most High that it's just Satan the devil. There is no such thing as an actual God by the name of Moloch. There is no such thing as an actual God by the name of Baal. It's just Satan the devil. And, as King Solomon said, there's nothing new under the sun. So we have the same thing going on today. We have, the Illuminati, Freemasons, Kabbalah, the Wiccans. All those things have different names and people associated with different things, but it's all just Satan the devil. So I hope that this will be helpful for you guys, and that you listen to it and take heed and get in prayer if you're not in prayer, and stay in prayer, because this is it. We are in the last seconds of this system, and things are about to go down. That great tribulation is just around the corner. So I hope that everyone is at peace today and tonight, and that you're able to rest safely and gather your strength, and that peace will be still with you. So, talk to you guys later. Good night.